Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but we're going to talk about The Flash and just how bad things are. It turns out that The Flash is looking to be one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. I gotta be honest, I did not see this coming. I really thought the movie would do so-so, but it is catastrophic. How bad? It came in third place this weekend. It got beaten not only by Across the Spider-Verse, which has been out for like, what, a month now? But also freaking Elemental, which itself is a box office bomb. It's like bombception. Not only that, but they're talking that this thing could go down in history as being a catastrophe on par with John Carter and the Lone Ranger. This is the Long Ranger, but the Lone Ranger. So that's pretty bad. And to just add insult to injury, they're literally giving tickets away. They're literally giving tickets away. 2-for-1 tickets after just 10 days in the theater. This is like comedy gold, man. You cannot make this up. And I don't think it's just the Ezra Miller effect. I think that just not enough people care about DC Comics movies. I think people are over DC Comics in general. I think people are getting over superhero movies because most of them have sucked, the live action ones. Now, Spider-Verse did do very well, but that's kind of a different thing, right? So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Thank you very much for the support. Go out to clownshishtv.com for more objective pop culture news, and go to thereef.support. That's thereef.support if you want to help the channel with a charitable donation. Tips are gladly accepted, especially in these trying times, these unprecedented times with ad rates are terrible. They're terrible. Anyway, let's talk about this. We got this covered. The Flash waves the white flag at the box office by offering a 2-for-1 ticket deal after just 10 days in the theaters. Look at this. Third place behind Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, so it's been out for a freaking month. Behind freaking Elemental, which itself is a massive failure. Its second week, it had 37% drop off. The Flash dropped off over 72%. Now, I did a video a couple days ago talking about how they were expecting The Flash to drop 75%. So I guess it's not as bad as the worst case scenario, but coming in third place behind another box office bomb is freaking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. This thing is going to be out of theaters in a couple of weeks, guys. It's going to crawl to 100. It's going to crawl to 100 million in the U.S. And this thing was what, a $300 million movie. They spent $17 million on a Super Bowl ad for this piece of shit. Now, look, to be fair, I've heard from multiple people the movie is not terrible. Just as far as the box office goes, it's box office poison. Just nobody wants to see this movie, right? So this is coming from We Got This Covered. Having continued circling the drain and only its second weekend in theaters, there's very little The Flash can do other than hold his hands up and quietly go down in history as one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. To put things into perspective, in terms of total money lost, the two largest flops in all of cinema are John Carter and the Lone Ranger, which ended up being in the red to the tune of around $200 million each. The Scarlet Speedster's solo debut boasts the same kind of budget and is following a similar trajectory in terms of day-to-day earnings, so there might be a new kid on the block being welcomed into the seventh circle of financial hell in the very near future. I am sorry, I do not think James Gunn is going to be able to pull the DCEU out of a tailspin. I think he's probably not the right guy to do a Superman movie. And especially not, the rumors what? That it's going to be Superman versus the Authority? What the hell? What the hell? What the actual hell? I mean, yeah, I don't want to see Lex Luthor for the 50,000th time, but Brainiac would be kind of cool. Mr. Mxyzptlk would be kind of cool. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Things have gotten so bad that just after 10 days of playing on the big screen, Fandango issued a buy one, get one free offer that would secure you 2 tickets for The Flash at half cost with the tactics attempting to drum up any sort of nominal business, scraping the bottom of the barrel in record time. This was a couple days ago. Grace Randolph she actually retweeted this and was like, this has never happened. Like, we've never had a tentpole film like The Flash do a buy one, get one offer, in week 2, for God's sake. It should be pointed out, in the interest of fairness, that the deal's already been maxed out. So there are at least some people out there who took Fandango up on its offer and opted to bring a friend to The Flash. Friends don't let friends go to The Flash. I don't know. However, it isn't going to do much to stop the bleeding, especially when there is a chance that Andy Muschietti's Superhero Spectacular could finish the weekend in 4th place, by the way, of securing the steepest drop of any comic book adaptation ever. It's pretty bad. It's not as bad as Steel. It's almost as bad as Morbius. And this thing cost a hell of a lot more money than Morbius. I'm shocked. I cannot believe how bad this movie did. I did not see this happening. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to do so-so. I personally thought that Michael Keaton's Batman would bring people back. The cameos would bring people back. And people are just outright rejecting this movie. Now, I don't know how much of that has to do with Ezra Miller. All the drama around them. But people are staying as far away from this movie as possible. And they're going to see Spider-Man again. So this is just crazy. So a month after the fact, Spider-Verse is the #1 movie again. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse slings back into the box office top spot while The Flash drops. This is absolutely insane. For a film like this to crawl and spin a web back into the #1 spot is very rare. So this guy for ComScore, it's a testament to the quality of the movie. This is a very competitive and crowded summer movie marketplace. And yet Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has distinguished itself as one of the biggest movies this summer. Spider-Verse beat Elemental, which took 2nd place for the 2nd weekend in a row with an estimated $18.5 million. That's not great either. But the fact is that Elemental, which is considered a massive failure for Pixar, still beat The Flash. The film held on to the top spot after experiencing Pixar's worst 3-day opening last week. No other film had such a dramatic drop than The Flash, with $50 million this weekend for the big budget offering. The 2nd week output for the DC and Warner Brothers superhero film starring Ezra Miller fell off by 72% after opening with subpar $55 million. They were calling this the best superhero movie ever made. They were saying this thing was going to do over $100 million easy. And then they adjusted it down to, it's going to do about 75, 80. Then they adjusted it down to like 60, 65. And then it came in under that. I mean, what a fucking disaster. This is a disaster. I mean, this is like the worst case scenario for Warner Brothers. And you really got to rethink what the hell you're doing with DC. You guys do not want to jump back into it. And I think Aquaman is fucked. Absolutely. And definitely Blue Beetle, which looked like a pretty okay, fun film until the director started shooting his mouth off. Until they got that Batman fascism joke in there. People are tired of it. They're done. They're just done. But obviously it's not all superhero movies, because Spider-Verse took the #1 spot again, right? So far, the numbers The Flash have accumulated haven't measured up for a movie with a $200 million production budget. Some are crediting the film's struggles to Miller's off-screen behavior that has included arrests and misconduct. Oh no, I thought Miller was completely innocent and just misunderstood, according to the stands. The actor has apologized and sought mental health treatment. Ezra Miller's career as a leading they/them is over. This is it. You're not going to be able to come back from this. Like, not only do you have a string of really weird ass, bizarre, illegal, creepy behavior, right? But you also were the lead in one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. You're fucking done. You're just done. And I think Miller's going to need some mental help after this, because I don't think it's going to sink in right away that Miller is done. Like, I don't think there's going to be any coming back from this one. Sometimes it's not the opening weekend that tells the whole story, particularly with Elemental. This guy said it's more about the challenges that can sometimes face a movie like The Flash. They're multifaceted. It's very difficult to overcome. Now, Elemental is a failure, too. It's just not as big of a failure as The Flash. The Flash barely edged out No Hard Feelings, starring Jennifer Lawrence. It's an R-rated comedy from Sony, actually, which also did Spider-Verse, which opened in 4th place. Spider-Verse and No Hard Feelings, Sony should be pleased about the turnout for both films. Transformers Rise of the Beast came in 5th place with 11.6 million. Its 3rd week with a total of 122.9 million. That's kind of not good either. That's kind of crap too. I know Bumblebee didn't do very well because I think Bumblebee paid the price for The Last Night, which was an indecipherable pile of shit. The Last Night is literally one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It wasn't even so bad it's good. It was just a bad movie with an incoherent plot and just random shit happening. And they ruined more Transformers than that one too. I had no idea where this damn thing was going. You literally could watch any episode of like 90s Power Rangers and have an easier time following what the hell is going on. You know, just a terrible movie. And then Bumblebee was great. I love Bumblebee. I thought Bumblebee was fantastic. And I wanted more of that. But I think the damage to the franchise has been done. I've heard multiple people said Rise of the Beast is actually pretty okay. But again, I think most people are like, yeah, those last two Bay movies weren't very good, guys. The Little Mermaid pulled in $8.6 million to bring its total to more than $270 million. Where's that $1 billion that Twitter said was going to happen? That this movie had to make over $1 billion. It was going to make over $1 billion, and they had to chase off the lead of Aladdin because he said he didn't think it was going to make $1 billion. Because he said it only made $1 billion because it was pre-pandemic and it was Will Smith. You know, at least he was realistic. He's like, yeah, people didn't come see me. He said they came to see the movie because Will Smith was in it. They expect a good draw for the Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. I don't think so. I think that one's going to be screwed too. I don't think it's going to be as bad as The Flash, but I don't think it's going to do that well, guys. So there we go. The Flash is one of the biggest bombs of all time. Absolutely insane. And I was very wrong on this one. I thought it would do meh, but I never expected this. I mean, this is just crazy. So this is kind of the coda, I guess, to the Ezra Miller saga. I do not look for any mention of his version of Barry Allen going forward. I think he's done. I think his career might be done. I'm sorry, Dave M's career might be done. I think it's over. It's just over. So and Warner Brothers, you really need to hit pause on DC and rethink what the hell you're doing. You need to have another Superman 1978, not Guardians of the Galaxy, in my opinion. But I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.